Hey, it's Tuxedo Mark. It is 7:25 p.m. on Friday, August 6th, 2021, and welcome to my review of Act 6 of the Pretty Guardians Sailor Moon Eternal movies. Actually, I don't think it has Pretty Guardian in the title. I think it's just Sailor Moon Eternal. But anyway, yeah, it's a two-part movie, but I'm reviewing it in portions based on um, the part of the manga that covers. So this is covering Act 6 of the Dream arc of the manga. Um, so, Act 6 in my manga, at least, got my original Sailor Moon mangas here. I read Act 3 of or Act 6 of the Dream Arc. Those are the volumes that are labeled Sailor Moon Super S or Supers or however you pronounce it. Uh, Basically, they named it after the corresponding season of the original anime series, but it's in volume 3. This green bordered one right here. Um, and it actually is over 100 pages long. So it took me like 67 minutes to read, I believe. I think from like 11:25 a.m. to 12:32 p.m. And then I was curious as to how much screen time that would cover. All right. So it starts out really weird. The manga does. It cuts over to the outer Senshi. Sailor Uranus, Sailor Neptune, Sailor Pluto, and Hotaru. She's not Sailor Saturn at the moment. They're all living together in a house, which is cute. And apparently, Hotaru has been experiencing rapid aging ever since the solar eclipse. Um, Setsuna, who is Sailor Pluto, was at an observatory at the time, and she kind of passed out. She had a vision that something happened, like some enemies entered this dimension. Um, Michiru, Sailor Neptune, was at a concert in Vienna when she felt it. And Haruka, Sailor Uranus, was in a race, about to start a race in Africa. And which makes me wonder who was looking after Otaru at the time. But anyway, um, ever since the eclipse, Hotaru's been rapidly aging, like faster than she should be, because remember she was de-aged to a baby at the end of the Infinity arc, at the end of Sailor Moon Crystal season 3, basically. So that's all living together and taking care of her. But now Hotaru started aging faster, and there's like this weird part where she sees the vision of Chibiusa and Pegasus, like she sees a ghost thing, like apparitions of them. And this happens whenever she plays the violin because Michiru is giving Hotaru as well as some other local kids violin lessons, which is kind of weird because Michiru is described as being a famous violinist. So why is and she plays concerts in Vienna? So why is she giving lessons to local kids? Are they free, or I mean, how much does she charge for them, and can the parents afford it? But anyway, um, and like Michiru is recognized by fan like at a music store, And he's like, I got all your CDs. And it's like Haruka and Michiru are seen together and they're wearing rings on their fingers. So there's a theory, people are speculating they're married, and people think Haruka is a guy. Um, uh, there's a bit in a manga where some guy in another car recognizes Haruka or sees Haruka and recognizes by the fact that she's wearing an earring that she's female. And then he starts hitting on her, and then she just speeds off and leaves him in the dust. So that was kind of funny. That part was cut from the movie. Um, anyway, ever since the solar eclipse, the outer senshi can't use their powers, and they believe they've been stripped of their powers because Usagi and the rest of the inner senshi are able to take care of themselves, and the outer senshi aren't needed anymore. Now, what they don't know, obviously, is that the inner senshi have had problems where they weren't able to transform either. But then Hotaru, after she sees her ghost visions and stuff like that, and the kids see it too. Um, there's also like this part where Haruka is training Hotaru to make like some kind of visual. I don't know if it's a holographic model or it's just they're just sitting on the floor in the living room and it's like appearing before them. But they're creating a model of the solar system, like from the beginning of its creation to the present day. It's kind of weird. Uh, Michiru thinks nothing of it. She's like, "Oh, so how's the solar system game coming along?" But anyway, where am I going with this? Anyway, at some point, Sailor Saturn is like talks to Hotaru, and then she remembers who she is. She ages back up to her normal age, and she tells the other outer senshi that they must awaken also, and they must transform. And she gives them all new crystals, which I guess are absorbed within them or something. And then they have a vision that Usagi and Mamoru are in danger, so they go off to find them. And then the manga finally picks up where the end of the previous act left off, with Minako in danger. Artemis transforms into being human. Yeah. And yeah, he tries to save Minako, and they each blame themselves for not being the strong one, and that's why Minako can't transform, but then she can transform. So, um, so she's got her new transformation. She has her new attack, which is Venus Love and Beauty Shock. Now, what's interesting in the movie, before she does the attack, she calls it her new love whip or whip of love or something like that. Which I don't think she doesn't do that in the manga. But that reminds me of something from the old English dub of like I don't know if it was S or Super S, where the dub name for Venus Love Me Chain was Venus Love Chain Whip. Yeah. Anyway, so then the outer senshi appear. They arrive there. Okay. That's how it happens in the manga. It's like basically the manga cuts over to the outer senshi and shows what's been happening to them all up to this point until we get back to Sailor Venus being in danger. The Sailor Venus portion is resolved at the end of the first movie for the final 5 minutes, basically from the 1 hour and 11 minute mark until the 1 hour and 16 minute mark, and that's it. The hours essentially don't show at all in the first movie, and then the rest of the running time is the closing credits. And speaking of the new, I love the new ending theme, and then I looked it up to see who does it, and it's Yoko Ishida, the singer of I Know Senshi from the original anime. That's like one of my favorite songs from the original anime. So it's cool that she's involved with Sailor Moon again. And then there's a short snippet of another song at the end, at the very end of the credits, and I started listening to it. I'm like, this sounds familiar, and I'm pretty sure that's from the original anime, or at least it's a cover of something from the original anime. I can't find any information about it online, but apparently they keep singing "Baby, Baby Love," so I remember hearing that somewhere, and I believe it was in the original anime. Let me look it up really quick. Wanting to be together with you. Watashi tachi ni narita kute. I believe that's it. Oh, and that was performed by Yoko Ishida as well, the version in Sailor Moon Eternal. But let me see where the original was used. The ending theme, the fifth ending theme for the original anime series, used from episodes 128 through 140 of the fourth season. Okay. Okay, that's cool. So, so the second movie starts off with the Outer Senshi stuff. Um, and then once the Outer Senshi arrive, it's kind of weird. I don't know if the manga did this. I don't recall, but the Outer Senshi, when they arrive and the Inner Senshi see them, the Outer Senshi, it's like their eyes are missing. It's like I think that's like anime. That's like an anime thing to mean that their eyes are in shadow or tops of their faces, like their foreheads and the top and everything above their noses in shadow. And then they each say something, and then the Inner Senshi are like, could that be? And then the Outer Senshi do their transformations and reveal themselves. So it's like, really? I'm thinking you're gonna pull this. Oh, who? It might make sense if we were following the Inner Senshi this whole time, and then the Outer Senshi just show up out of nowhere. But this movie literally began with the Outer Senshi and how they were reawakening and they were on their way to help the Inner Senshi. So then when it switches to the Inner Senshi, it's like it makes no sense to to make the Outer Senshi's identities mysterious for like a few seconds. Anyway, um, so they're doing their transformations and their attacks, and um, let's see. I know there was like world shaking and dead scream. I didn't recall if Neptune did Deep Submerge, but anyway, let's see. Sailor Neptune reveals Dead Moon, a dark portal the nightmares are coming from. Apparently, this is affecting people all over the world. They're being corrupted by their nightmare energy. You can see it on the streets of Juban where people are fighting. Oh, and Artemis turns back into a cat during all of this. Our Senshi fight the Amazonas Quartet. Chibiusa and Usagi sense the outer guardians, and Hotaru actually calls out like telepathically to Chibiusa and Usagi. They both get the message. But then it's like Chibiusa picks up Michiru's mirror that she had let her borrow and sees them in. She's like, it's them. It's like, yeah, we already know that. But anyway. So, oh, and Usagi had arrived home late and she's coughing. And Chibiusa is concerned for her. And then Usagi's like, it's okay, I've just got to lie down. But when she realizes the outer Senshi have arrived and Chibiusa's off to go meet them, Usagi's like, you go on, I'll catch up. And Usagi eventually runs outside and she runs into Mamoru. And he basically realizes she's caught his illness, like her lungs are being infected. But she's like, there's something's about to go down. I gotta be a part of this. Let's see. Anyway, they all arrive, but Zirconia reveals herself or himself or whatever, and let's see. Zirconia mortally wounds Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask, causing them to de-transform and turn younger. And then Helios arrives and he astral protects and teleports Usagi and Mamoru away to save their lives, disappearing as well. Sailor Saturn and Sailor Chibi Moon go inside the tent to confront the Amazon's quartet. Hotaru tries to reach out to them, convince them that they're being used. And they seem like they're going to trust her. But then Zirconia is like, traitors. So he traps them inside orbs, and he traps Chibiusa and Sailor Saturn inside shards of glass. And then he puts the 6 of them inside Nehelenia's mirror. Okay. And basically that is where Act 6, the material covering Act 6 of the manga leaves off. It takes 29 minutes, the first 29 minutes of the second movie to cover Act 6 of the manga, plus the last 5 minutes of the previous film. So basically 34 minutes of screen time to cover Act 6 of the manga. And it's a good job so far. Don't notice that they cut too much out of the manga. Let's see. So, yeah, a lot of people are trapped right now. And Usagi and Mamoru have been DH the kids. So we'll see how that resolves itself. This is a short movie as well, and there's only like 50 something minutes left in it. But there's still one more act in volume 3 of the Dream Arc manga, and then there's still another whole volume of the manga. So I hope that's enough running time to complete the Dream Arc. Anyway, yeah. So that's it, I guess, for now. I'll watch. I'll read the next act and watch the corresponding movie footage on some other day. And yeah, just want to share my thoughts on it. And yeah, that's it. It's 7:45 p.m. and thanks for watching. Just turned 7:46 p.m.